My name is Mike Betke, and this is my story. Well, in 2004, Wes Waller and I started Buzz Fast Pitch, which a lot of people know. We got a lot of kids in this church, but for me, it was a whole lot more than that. We were at a tournament in San Antonio, and it happened to be the anniversary of 9/11. We have what we call Church in the Dirt. We get together and we have a devotional and talk about passages in the Bible and what it means to us. Well, this particular day, we went to the tournament director and asked if we could borrow their tent that they had the night before for lunch or for dinner and snacks. Well, they had a big coaches meeting. Well, we said, can we borrow it? We want to do our Church in the Dirt. And he stopped. He said, you want to do what? And we said, well, we do Church in the Dirt. And he said, well, I tell you what, I got something better than that. I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do for 9/11. I'm going to stop this whole tournament. We're going to do Church in the Dirt. I want you guys to do Church in the Dirt. So he stopped the tournament, said everybody to field number 1. We're going to have a ceremony. So we showed up, and the girls lined up from third to first out in the grass. Coaches lined up behind them. The umpires lined up on a straight line from first to third, put their hands behind their back. It was really unrehearsed. It just happened. So we talked a little bit about some scripture, and then he came out and said, okay, we got any first responders here? And any military? Well, they raised their hand. Our girls got up, were the first ones to go over and hug them and thank them for their service and just shake their hands. And they went and sat back down. I'm watching all this going, there's something more going on here. I felt something going on. And I walked off the field afterwards, and a guy comes running up to me and says, I don't know what happened. I think God was here. I need to know more. And I looked at him, and I knew I wasn't the one to tell him, but I knew something was going on. Well, that really started my path. I knew there was more to it than just being a good person and trying to be a good person. I knew, I realized there was something missing in my life, and there had been for a while, but I just couldn't pinpoint it. Well, we started going to church that next weekend, and we went to several different churches, but we kept coming back to Meadowbrook. And just everybody here was so kind and loving, and it was just a friendly atmosphere. And I was never really outgoing and shaking hands, but that started a year-long journey for me. One Sunday, it was about a year later, I looked around and I could see people with their hands in the air and people singing and smiling and all that. And I just thought to myself, I looked around and I said, man, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Look, these people have something I don't have. I don't know. I'm not good enough to be here. I'm not good enough to be with these people. Then I sat and I listened to Kerry's sermon, and his sermon was all about, we don't need perfect people. We need imperfect people, and we need hypocrites in this church, and we need a lot more of them. We need broken people. That's what we're here for. And at that moment, I turned and I looked at my wife and said, got to go. And I went down front, and I gave my life and told Carrie that I wanted to learn more about Jesus Christ. I gave my life. A week later, I was baptized. That was 4 years ago. You know, I haven't looked back, and it's the greatest single moment of my life. My dad and I were close when I was young. One of the things that we talked about was, he told me, son, if you can count the people on the fingers of one hand that would come help you if you were truly in trouble, consider yourself a lucky man. Since I came to Meadowbrook and I became active in the church, I've come to realize my dad was wrong at that. I can't tell you that if Mike Betke were in trouble, I can't count the number of people now that would come help me. And the reverse is true. If somebody at this church was in trouble, I can't count the number of people that I wouldn't drop everything to go help. And that's what being plugged into this church means to me. That's what family is. I have brothers and sisters that 4 years ago I never knew I had.